Hey, how you doing? Pete here, founder of Growth Models. And in this video, I want to run you through the simple shift that you can make in your business to make more revenue, more profit through 2025, whilst actually working less. Sounds crazy, no? But if you stick with me through this video, I'll run you through the exact system and how you can implement it in your business to scale more efficiently, more profitably, and with less stress. Let's get to it. Okay, so how do you attract more buyers? Essentially, it comes down to one core shift. And, that shift is quite simple. Within any audience, you have two groups of people, and I call them givers and takers. Now, most people, they focus on takers, and they attract takers with free assets, free lead magnets, free whatever. These people, they come into your business and they get the information because it's nice to have. And what I mean by this is they see that free lead magnet that you've done and they think, oh, that might be useful in a day, a week, a month, a year. I'll get that because it'd be nice to have that as a backup. They go, they put that asset in a Google Drive somewhere, and they never actually go back and read it. So the consumption of that is low. And then when you actually follow up with them with emails and things to promote your other offers where you really make the money, they think, well, who's this person? They've not consumed anything you've given them, so they quickly forget who you are. And the engagement just is not there. And basically what this leads to is a lack of sales. It's going to be very difficult to sell these people. And that's why when I talk to so many people in my sort of consulting life, and they have these massive audiences, and they just can't make money from it. They've got an audience of 10K to 100K people, whether that's on social email lists, but then every time they try and pitch them something, crickets, nothing comes back. We've all been there. We all know what that's like. And the best way to get around this is to focus on the givers. These are people who think that the information that you're providing is not nice to have. It's something that they need to have. And they are a much smaller part of your audience, like this little circle up here. And the problem is that when most people are building an audience primarily of takers, all of these people, it becomes very difficult to identify the givers, because they're drowned out by there's so many more people on the taker side of things. So it's difficult to notice the signals and the messaging that's actually going to work with the buyers because there's so much noise from the takers. Now, if you can find the givers, these people, the consumption of what you give them is going to be high. They're going to use whatever they get from you because they're like, oh my God, I need to have this. I need to implement it. I need to get some kind of results. And because that consumption is high, they then remember you. They trust you, they get a result from you. So when you send them a promotion or whatever it might be for that next level offer that you have, engagement is high, which all leads to more money being made. Now, the key here is obviously to separate givers and takers, but what it actually comes down to is consumption as well. We're all operating on trust, essentially. There's lots of alternatives out there that people can go to. Why should somebody trust you? The way you get people to trust you is to consume your content, your ideas, your systems. Once they've consumed all of that stuff, they start to know you, they start to understand what it is that you do, they start to understand how you can help them. And so consumption is key. Takers generally don't consume because they just take stuff for free, they forget about it. Givers consume it. The question is, how can you easily identify this group of people within the wider audience so that you can focus your marketing efforts on them? The answer is annoyingly simple. You simply attach a fee. So rather than giving out free lead magnets, you start putting out paid offers. So we stop doing this, we start doing this. Why does this work? Quite simply, if somebody thinks something is nice to have, they're unlikely to put money down for it. I don't need that, it'd be nice to have, so I don't really need to spend the money. If it's something somebody needs to have, they will pay for it. And so that's one of the really easy methods that we've been using to identify the givers and deter the takers. We don't want to waste time on all of these people because not only is it a waste of our time, they're making it harder for us to serve the people who want help and will pay for help. Okay, so literally attaching a small fee. And we found that people who spend even $1 are later 12 times more likely to then buy your high ticket items. So that'd be your core offers where it's hundreds or thousands of dollars, right? Literally a $1 product. And all that I like to think about this $1 product is it's like a filter to separate the serious from the unserious, the givers from the takers, the freebie seekers from the serious buyers. So that's what we have been doing. However, don't think that you can just take a free lead magnet that you're running now and put a price on it. It doesn't work that way. And the reason is that most free lead magnets are information based, and we are in a period of information overload. I see a lot of free lead magnets that people are doing, where if we take AI, for instance, I see a ton of these at the minute, 2,000 prompts for you to use. If we're looking at health and wellness, we're going to be like, here's a list of 100 healthy foods. All of these kind of things, and basically people are just giving out information. There was a time when information would work quite well to attract the right kind of people, because for me to put this stuff together, I would have to go to Google, I'd have to go to a dozen different sites, do all of the research, spend hours reading it, pick the one thing from each site that is most impactful for me, and then collate and curate that into one offer. And so by doing that for people, you could save them hours of time by doing that. And that's essentially what they were paying for. They were paying for not having to take the time. Doesn't really work anymore thanks to our good friend AI. I can just go to AI and ask that now. Might not be 100% accurate, but it's going to save me a bunch of time. It's going to get me 80% of the way there. So these information-based lead magnets aren't going to work. So the problem with a lot of these now is that these are effectively making more work for the end user. And that's not going to work, especially if you're trying to charge for this to identify the givers. What I mean by this is, let's say that I give you a list of 2,000 AI prompts to use. You then have to go through all 2,000 to find the, 5 to 10 that are actually going to be useful for you. The other 1,990 are not going to be useful. So they are a waste of your time. Do you really want me to give you a job to say, figure this stuff out, go out and find it? No, you can't just do this and attach a cost to it. It's not the way that it works. So the simple shift that allows this system to work is that you have to move everything from an information-based to solution-based, okay? And that's quite simple in itself. Rather than just giving out this big list, you say, what is a small problem that the user has, and how can I help them solve it quickly and easily? The way I like to think about it is your ideal customer is here today, and they want to be over here. This is their sort of dream outcome. So the journey that you can help them with in your full offer is to do that whole journey. That's your high ticket offer. That's your coaching, consulting, one-to-one, big course, whatever it might be. What we're looking to do is we're looking to find the givers by helping somebody take that initial step in the fastest, easiest, and cheapest way possible. So essentially what we want to do is we want to create a small solution that they could just fit into their life or their business that gets them from step 0 to step 1. Now, let's imagine that this is going to be where they are today. They are 50 pounds heavier than they want to be. And they want to lose 50 pounds. So that's the outcome that they want. Step 1 is not going to be lose 50 pounds. It's too much. It's too big of a promise. It's hard to do that. So we're going to say, what can we do to help somebody take that first step, which might be to lose 5 pounds of weight? And we're not just going to say, here's a list of 100 foods. Here's a list of all of the exercises in the world. Figure this out. What we're going to do is we're going to make it super simple for them. So we need to get really targeted on the actual offer. And that might be the 5 exercises. Let's call this sofa based. So they can do them from home. Exercises that take 15 minutes every day and will help you lose 5 pounds in 4 weeks. That already is a much more compelling offer. 5 exercises that you can do from your sofa that take 50 minutes a day and will help you lose 5 pounds in 4 weeks. Have they hit their dream goal of minus 50 pounds? No, but they've taken that first step. They're starting to work towards where they want to be. And you could position this as in 5 pounds every 4 weeks for whatever, all of this. But essentially then, you can then charge for this because you've cut down, here's a list of all of the exercises or whatever. Go figure this out. Just do this every day for 15 minutes and you will start to move towards the goal that you want. So that's essentially what we're trying to do. These $1 products are solutions. They are easy to implement things that allow the user to see progress and get initial traction with whatever it is that they want to achieve. So that's what we want to be doing here with this. Now, from here, how do you actually price this and charge this? So you've heard me say $1 product. Essentially, this is how I begin all of my new offers. we do $1 and then we start to increase the price until we hit a ceiling. But the thought behind this is essentially we want the cost to be low threat, so low threat that the ideal customer looks at it and thinks, even if that doesn't work, I don't care. I'm going to try it. Who cares if it doesn't work? It's so low threat and low cost. There is zero risk for them, essentially. This is what's going to allow us to have people who are going to make an impulse purchase. And eventually this is elastic, but it's always nice to just go in at one and then slowly increase. It's easier to increase the cost than it is to decrease costs. So we want a cost that's low threat. However, you can't just go in and be like, you know what, I'm only going to offer $1 worth of value. It's not the way to do it. You need to have outsized value. And I try to aim for 2 to 10 times the price that you would like to sell this at. As an example, my current $1 product that started off as a $1 product is the $1 product challenge. It's now $27 to buy that. But it's 4 hours of video tuition talking about the theory. You get templates that you can copy and paste and put into your business. You get everything to build the system that I'm about to run you through that will help you set this up to attract customers that will pay you between $1 and $500 right off the bat, right? So I could easily sell that course for anywhere from $100 to $500, but I'm giving it away for $27. And you might be thinking, Pete, you're a fool. The thing is, I'm going to get so many more people who are buyers, who fall within that givers category for $27 than I will if I just went straight in at $500. And that's really what this is about. Remember, we're not trying to solve their entire problem. We're trying to solve that first step. So the $1 product challenge teaches people how to take that first step and create things that attract buyers, not that attract freebie seekers. There's many more steps that is needed to turn this into a full system. But essentially, we just want to come in, really low threat cost, and have the value be at least 2 to 10 times as much as what they're going to pay us. This way, when they consume it, because they will more likely consume it because they've paid for it, you'll see a massive increase in trust. Because if you're paying $1 for something and getting $100 worth of value, my God, this person has really gone above and beyond. And so then when you then hit them and say, hey, I've got a $100 product, a $500 product, a $1,000 product, they're going to think, I wonder how much value is packed into this one. If I got so much from a $1, how much will I get from a $500 product? What we're doing here is we're attracting the right kind of people and building a good relationship. The fee makes sure that the person is serious about solving the problem. The value helps you build a positive relationship with that person. Now, you might be looking at this thinking, okay, so $1 product, do you just gradually increase the cost until it's $500? No, because the friction from a $500 product it's so much more than it would be on even a $50 product. It's more than 10 times, which means if you're paying for ads or if you're doing your marketing, you're going to have to work so much harder to convince people to take that step. And that's not really what we want to do. So I'm going to run you through the $1 product system that we implement here. And essentially this is a typical upsell funnel, but I'm going to go a bit more in depth here with this and explain how this works so that you can recreate it. So you have here your $1 product, and at the same time, let's just take the corner off this guy. We have the bump, we have upsell 1, upsell 2, okay? And what we're essentially doing here is we're building in reverse. So you've got your big offer, that's this one. You help people go from here to here with your primary thing. We have the $1 product here. And then we start thinking about, okay, so we've reverse engineered this. That means that the $1 product is going to build into the big offer that you're having, because you don't want to get somebody who pays for a $1 product that solves problem A, and then you're trying to sell them something that solves problem B. It's too much of a mismatch. There's no congruency. There's no direct line there. So we've worked backwards from the big transformation to the $1 product. We now use this to build out the system that allows us to scale exponentially. So with this, we have, let's just call the $1 product has problem solution, whatever that problem and solution might be. This is the bump offer. And if you're not aware, bump offers are those things when you're at the checkout and you click the button and it adds a new thing to your order. So the bump is a catalyst for the $1 product. And what I mean by this is it helps getting the result from the initial product faster, easier, or cheaper than if you just did it with that product alone. So if we think about this and this is helping them lose £5, we're going to think about it and go, okay, so we're giving them 5 sofa-based exercises that they can do in 15 minutes a day to lose £5 in 4 weeks. What can we do to help them lose £5 in 3 weeks or £6 in 4 weeks? What can we do to make it faster and easier for them? How can we make it so it's only 10 minutes? Probably the best thing is like nutrition, right? Eat, you'll get better results. So rather than just saying, here's a big list of food, we're going to say the bump offer in this case might well be 5, let's just call them weight loss dinner recipes that cost less than $5 and take only 10 minutes to create. And that will help them when you position that as in, if you want to get even better results and faster results, I'm going to give you the 5 weight loss dinners that hit all of the macros that you need to hit the weight loss and in a faster time, and it will cost you $5 a day to cook this, and you'll be able to create them in 10 minutes once you've bought it from ingredients that you'll find at any grocery store, right? So then that becomes the catalyst. It makes getting the result here faster and easier and cheaper. Then we move on to the upsell. And the upsells, it doesn't matter whether it's upsell 1, upsell 2. I've seen people daisy chain these together for like up to 10. But essentially with the upsell, you don't just keep throwing them new things. There's a new problem. And so this is now going to have a new solution. So what do I mean by this is they now have the exercises to help them lose weight, and they have some diet plan to help them lose weight. They will lose £5 in 4 weeks. So the next problem is they now have this new lifestyle. They have a new reality where they are £5 lighter. They're starting to see that there's light at the end of the tunnel, that they're starting to progress towards their goals. However, they have new challenges now. Losing the initial £5 is maybe, I don't know, but maybe a different game to losing the next 10. And if they keep doing the same thing, they're not going to lose any more weight after they've lost that initial £5. There's going to be diminishing returns. Or maybe they lose the initial £10 and then they struggle to keep the weight off. They just put it back on. Yo-yo dieting, big problem in the weight loss industry. So think about what the new problem is. Your product has created a new solution. What is the new problem that solution has created? And that is what the upsell is. And you basically daisy chain, new problem, new solution, new problem, new solution. Because that's all that we're doing. It's just a cycle of problem and solutions. And what you're trying to do is, if we're using this timeline, the upsells and everything, you want to take people to here, maybe there, that's it. And then the rest of the journey is the high ticket item, the thing where you're really making the money. But that's a different system. We're just looking at this bit on the front here. So, this could be the front end, upsell 1, upsell 2, done. Now, this is what enables you to charge more money and really cover your costs. So if we go with the front end and we got the bump, upsell 1, upsell 2. In terms of pricing, front end can be anything from $1 to $97. It's elastic because different industries, different offers have different risk tolerance and different boundaries of what is like an impulse buy. But really up to 97 is kind of a good thing. The bump offer, depending on what this is, generally 47 to 97. You can go lower to 27. Upsells are 97 to 197. Now, if we just round those off and take them up, we have 2, 4, 5, 600. Realistically, you're probably going to be looking at if we'll use my one, 27, 47, 197, 97, something like this. So what we're really looking at is 2, 3, 4, just under $400. Now, you'll have some people who come in and they buy only this. You'll have some people who come in and they buy both. Some people will come through and they'll buy everything. What I tend to find is, because of the way this is built, everybody who buys this at 30% conversion rates here, 15 here, 5 here. So not everybody's going to be doing that, but essentially this is what will allow you to scale, because this is what's going to push up the average order value for each person coming through from what could be $1. Realistically, you're going to be looking at probably up to $80 on average for everybody who comes through. So that is the next key bit. Okay, so you now understand why you shouldn't be focusing on the takers with free lead magnets, start charging people, how to build the little $1 product system to get more money for each person coming through, why it's important, the basics around building it. And then now we want to look at scaling. So I don't care. how you do your marketing, whether you're paying for ads, whether you're doing it organic, there is always a cost to acquire a customer. Doesn't matter what the channel is. And if this is your cost and this is your timeline, you will always pay a fee. So you'll always start off on a negative with a new customer. This is a simple payback timeline. Day one, they'd come into your business, however that might be. You've spent money or you've spent time. You might have spent 2 hours trying to close a customer. If you bill out at $250 an hour, that's $500 worth of time that's been spent. So you'll always be down here. What will help you scale and what will keep your business alive is when you can get to this point here. So this is your break even. This is your break even point right here. And that means that if you've paid $50 to get a customer, when do they pay you $50 back so that you're whole, you're no longer in debt? Now, a lot of models will have a very protracted payback period. It'll go there and then this is profit. With this model, because it's so low threat and you can convert people basically on a first time where they've seen you, because it's so low threat, they're like, do you know what, take a chance. Your payback period is much, much shorter as long as you can increase the average order value. And then from there, you can make, this is all profit rather than just this part over here. So essentially what this does is it allows you to scale. But to do that, you need to really know and focus on 3 metrics. First of all, there are 2 metrics that are super important. So the average order value, and this is how much somebody pays you when they become a customer. And you need to make sure that you get this as high as it possibly can be without just scamming people and taking their money unnecessarily. As long as you're offering new value and helping people, charging them money for that it's just business, right? So you will increase the average order value by testing different offers, testing different marketing, but you want to have this little system here. You want to make sure that people are coming through, they're taking these offers. And once you have the system running, like I say, start it with $1 and then you can play around with the pricing. You'll find a point where you increase the price to a certain level that it's no longer profitable. As you increase the price, fewer people will come through, but the revenue might be higher. So it's finding that balancing act with all of these. But you want to increase the average order value so that it is greater than the cost per acquisition, which is how much you pay to acquire one customer. If you're using ads, you might have a cost per acquisition of $50. So what you then need to make sure of is how can you make sure that people who come into your funnel pay you at least $50? That means that you've attracted a buyer who's more likely to buy again because, you know, they're serious, they're putting the money down for no money. You've effectively attracted them for free. The third metric is what happens after you hit this break-even point, and that is lifetime value. And you increase this by continuing to sell to those customers. So these two go hand in hand for the front end, and then this is about a profit maximization, and this is your break-even. So that's the real goal with these $1 products, is to attract serious people who want to pay for solutions without having to waste money. And then what you'll find is that they will buy from you again to increase the lifetime value. And people in my private community, we've seen that people who spend even $1 are 12 times more likely to buy your high ticket offers of a few hundred, a few thousand, $10,000, $25,000 offers, because people will pay once, will pay again. By cutting out those takers and the freebie seekers, you can focus on the people who are more likely to pay. And that's basically what this system is. This is just about attracting serious buyers. Once you've attracted a serious buyer, you put them into the sales mechanism that you found that works to sell your core offer, and you will find that you'll get higher engagement, better feedback, and also more sales because you've focused on the givers, the serious people. Now, if you want help to set this up, I've put a full course together called the $1 Product Challenge. You can get that by clicking somewhere around this video, but it will run you through how to set all of this up in your business. It's got all of the templates that you need to quickly copy and paste this to get it up and running. And there's a support community within that as well. So if you have questions, you can come in, ask questions, and we'll be there to assist. You will also, if you go through it, get to see firsthand what one of these looks like to increase that average order value. So that's always a bit of fun. But essentially, this is what you should be focusing on in 2025. Freebie seekers, there is becoming harder and harder to convert them into paid customers because there's just such an abundance of free information. It's just not going to cut it anymore. You have to move from information to solution, and also focus on the givers, the people who are willing to buy. They buy once, they'll buy again. This method allows you to then confidently invest in your ads or marketing, whatever marketing channel you use, without having to worry about loss of cash, because you're collecting that cash back very quickly, which means you never have to go too far into debt because you're making it back so quick. And then those people are more likely to pay you again and again to increase that lifetime value. So check out the $1 product challenge below. It is currently $27, but like I said, prices often increase because we're always testing new prices. It's always easier to increase than decrease pricing. Something that you'll learn about in the $1 product challenge. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. I'll see you on the other side. And if nothing else comes from this, just test running a simple solution for a single dollar and let me know how it works.